Hello, everybody. Hello. Welcome to my page. Welcome to this live stream. I hope you're well. All right, so I am very excited this week. So you might have seen my post where I shared I was going to hop on and do kind of a 4-part live stream series this week in celebration of my 2-year channeling anniversary, which falls on this Friday, 7th of the 7th, 2 years to the day where I stepped into being an active channel. And so I just wanted to make it a little bit more normal, I suppose. So I thought I'd kickstart this kind of celebrations. I'm going to do a few things this week. So do comment here if you're joining me live or even on the replay. I'll check in with the comments. But I thought what I'd do is I'll do a celebration kind of channeling session on Friday to end the week. That's actually on the anniversary day. So I'll do some live channeling then. But I thought it would be really fun to just jump on here and talk about a few different things around all of this channeling, because one of the parts of my mission is I didn't know this was part of my mission 2 years ago, but it's to bring this element in. Things like channeling, starseeds, awakenings, activations. What else did I say? Yeah, starseeds, channelings, mission. All these words. I tend to use these words when I write and I speak, but actually to bring them more into the mainstream, like take the mystery out of them. They're actually not mysterious, and to make them more accessible. So in today's live stream, I just want to have like a chit chat with you around, first of all, the what. The what is channeling, what is like star seeds. I know some of you hear these phrases and you don't always fully understand, and I want to kind of open up some doors to help you get into this understanding. And of course, if you're fully versed with all of this, then just I welcome you anyway, just to receive this, because what's also happening is a lot more of you, especially those of you who join me on my pages and follow along and you maybe come into my programs and things. A lot of you are more intuitive and open than you maybe will have realized. So tomorrow I'm going to talk about, in part 2, more of my journey, the kind of, what did I say, the how. Hold on, I forgot even what I'd said. Yeah, the how. Today is the what is it? And then I'm going to talk tomorrow about the how, like how I discovered I was here on a mission, how I became a channel. Then Thursday, I'm going to talk about who do I channel and why do I channel and the meaning behind all of that. And then Friday, we're going to do a live channeling session, as I love to do. And I'm going to give away some free prizes. I did this last year. I did this when I celebrated my 1st year anniversary, and it was so much fun. So I'm going to give away some free prizes if you join me live. Obviously, if I'm just going to talk to myself on Friday, that is okay. I will continue to channel and share messages, but obviously there'll be no kind of free prize giveaways because I can't select anybody if you're not here. So if you want to be in on that, join me on Friday, 6 p.m. UK time. Yes, same as today. And that is, I think, 1 p.m. Eastern time. All right, so you can join me on that. So yeah, so I wanted to just start with, okay, what is channeling, first of all, for those of you who may not be fully clear. And I know that there are a lot of people who are curious, and you may have seen me channel. So all channeling is I consider, I refer to myself as a channel. A channel means that you are the receiver of information. So a bit like you dial into a radio station, that is the channel of your choice. You tune into that channel because you want to listen to, like, I don't know, rock music, or you'd want to listen to R&B music, or you want to listen to like pop or whatever, like mainstream stuff, right? You tune into the channel of your choice. And so the channel, the radio station, broadcasts certain songs, right? They have a certain reason why you tune in. So me as a channel, and people like me, and there are a lot more channels, by the way, than you may realize. It's not so out there and strange as a lot of us have been taught. And this is one of the things I want to do to make it a lot more normal. I'm very down to earth, even though I channel. So me as a channel, all it means is that, imagine that you have these energy centers, and imagine sort of the crown is the center up here, and all it is that the crown is sort of, imagine it like a flower. It's kind of opened up, and when it's opened up, we can receive information, downloads. We all do. you might get inspired ideas, you might get sudden inspirational hits, they come in from somewhere. That feeling where it doesn't feel like it's your own, like necessarily your own thoughts or your own ideas. It's like an inspired thing that just came in. A lot of us know that feeling maybe when you go for a walk, go in nature, you have showers. I know a lot of people get the best ideas in the shower because you're not thinking and suddenly it just comes in. So we are all channels. So the only difference between myself and maybe someone who doesn't know themselves in that way is that I'm very much here to be a very direct channel. So part of my mission, I learnt, was to be a very open, direct channel because it serves the purpose that I'm here for. And that's part of my mission. My life path, my journey here is to broadcast information, to bring in information, and I'll touch on who that is from, go into more detail in the week, but to bring in information from higher realms to assist humanity. And the only reason I'm channeling is not because it's like necessarily a fun thing to do, although it can be. It's not because it's just like meaningless or it's just something I happen to do. It's very intentional. And so what is happening around the world, and it's been going on very, very, very specifically since 2020, when a lot of people kind of went and had these awakenings. So I'm using these words, and my intention for this live stream is to really just open up the meanings behind some of these words, and I've got them here. You'll see them on the screen so that you can really, really get a sense of what we're talking about. Because I know that a lot of this terminology can feel like another language. I know a few people have said to me, I've seen you talk about starseeds, but I don't fully understand. So that's just a little bit about channeling, and I want to get into some of these other things because they're all very connected. And as you're watching, I invite you to notice what you feel and notice where you feel like leaning in. Notice that you are curious about some of these things, and there'll be a reason for it. So the first time I think it was Laurie Ladd. Yeah, it was Laurie Ladd. I'd seen people channel before, but it was Laurie Ladd in 2020 when I started to see her messages. I'd never heard of her before. And there was one time when she doesn't always directly channel on her YouTube, but she did in part. And she was talking about her guides. And as soon as I saw her talk about it, I had this pang in my heart, this feeling in my heart that I had this like, oh, I wish I could do that, right? So as I'm talking about this, I want to invite you into, if you're here listening, because a lot of you will watch the replay, and feel free to comment. But if you're here listening and you're leaning in and you kind of like this idea of all the things I'm talking about, just I invite you to open up into that space and know that there's probably something here that I'm talking about that's very relevant to you. And maybe it's something you haven't stepped into, maybe it's something that you will step into. It doesn't have to be loud and vocal on the internet. It doesn't mean that you have to be a channel the way that I am and do live streams in front of all your friends and family. It doesn't necessarily mean, it might do, but it might not mean that. We all have different ways. There are so many ways of channeling information. So I do a lot of work with people now. It's one of my services that I offer, high level channel, where I help people activate their channel. And what I've discovered in that is that there are so many ways that we can channel. So I have people that sort of do it directly the way that I do it. I have people that they kind of receive it through their body. They channel different energies. There's so many different ways, and I am blown away by that because I didn't know that even a year ago. So I'm learning as well on the journey. So there'll be something here for you if you find yourself to this live stream, whether you're watching now this week in real time or whether you're watching like a year from now. And in some cases, sometimes people find their way to my videos like 3 years later, which is always magical. So whenever you're watching this, you can comment, whether you're on YouTube or Facebook, wherever else you happen to be watching it. So that's what channeling is. It's just being the channel, the receiver of information from other realms, higher realms. And of course, if you're completely closed off to that, this is probably not the live stream for you, and you probably have zero interest in what I'm talking about anyway. But assuming that you are, that's all it is. It isn't mystical, and I think that a lot of people have this idea around channeling that it's for very special people or very gifted, individuals. And it isn't. It's like, all it is that I know from my point of view that I've been channeling in previous lifetimes. So it's just a continuation of what I've been doing. Only I didn't know that. It wasn't, I did the first, so it's 2 years ago, right? Is when I turned 40. I had to do the first 40 years of my life, for whatever reason, not really knowing that about myself. And I'll talk about that journey tomorrow. I'll go into more detail about that if you're interested. So yeah, so that's what channeling is. And then the starseed aspect is really, and again, I've talked about this before, but starseed is really, it's just about the nature of your soul. So I think most of you that tune into me or pages like this, you'll already be on board with the whole, you've been here before, you're a soul having a human experience. You're probably very open to that idea that, you've had previous lifetimes. And so you've had many lifetimes here before. And indeed, I've done lots of past life regressions with people. I've had my own, and I can absolutely confirm that that is the case. So it isn't a big leap then if we go from that to knowing that not only have we had lifetimes on this planet before, we've also had lifetimes in other star systems, whatever you want to call them, other places that we wouldn't have even heard of necessarily. So all that is that the word starseed, you can take that word or leave it. There are lots of other words: light workers, way showers. It doesn't. I don't really care about the word itself, but it's just the word that a lot of people understand. But being a starseed, it's just coming from. It means that you have had experiences elsewhere, and a lot of us have. A lot of us have, and most certainly, if you are here watching this with me, even if you don't think, even if you watch, I'm going to say this with so much love, even if you watch my stuff and you never press like, love, have never commented, we've never interacted, you secretly watch my messages and live streams, that is okay. You are absolutely welcome. It's why I create these messages. But even if we've never connected in that way, you're here listening to this message. So there's something here for you. You are definitely connected. All right. So, and it's happening more and more. So starseed, let's take away the mystery, bring it back down to earth. Believe it or not, that's one of my big things as well. It's not strange. It's just getting our heads around the idea that we've had many lifetimes in different places, and earth is just one of them. So a lot of us have a very distant, deep longing, pining for something better, for more connection. We can sometimes just feel like this loneliness on this planet. We can sometimes feel like it doesn't feel right here. Maybe there's a home somewhere else that we don't really remember. My guides have often told me that there's a reason we don't remember fully. And they told me about me specifically. They said if I knew, say, what it is to be on Arcturus with the Arcturians, I would have a very hard time sticking to this mission. And when they told me that, I could feel the truth of it. I was like, yeah, it's like a real truth that it feels like if I did know, I would so be disinterested in this planet. So the idea is I've got to ground in, same as you, we've got to ground in into this lifetime and commit, right, to the mission that we're on. So there are reasons we don't remember, but let's just open that up. It's normal. It's normal. There's many of us. I'm really over that now. I'm really over that fear that I had a couple of years ago. What are people going to think of me? I'm so beyond that now. I've lost friendships over this. I've had people, I can feel the energies. I know that people are looking at me like I'm absolutely a nutcase. I'm good with that. And I understand that that's just where they are. But I'm also here to take a stand for those of us who are here to bring this in. And by doing that, we are uplifting humanity, expanding the consciousness, because one of the biggest deceptions on this planet has been to disconnect us from our true soul essence. And this whole bullshit around, this is your, you only live once, that expression is just meaningless to me. Meaningless. You only live once, yeah, in this body, in this lifetime, but we have many, many, many lifetimes. So we are very powerful. We are infinite beings, and it's time now in this lifetime for more of us every single day to start waking up to that and start to know yourself as a multi-faceted being, a multi-dimensional being, You've had many lifetimes. So that's starseed. Let's just make that super normal. Channeling is just receiving information in. We're all capable of doing it. I am bringing something in really exciting around that later this year. I can't say anything about that now, but it will come later, definitely some point later this year. But yeah, we're going to do more in the world on that, because it's time to bring this in and make it a lot more normal. So that's that. So that's starseeds, that's channeling. Mission is really just, you have a mission as much as I have a mission. Our missions are really why we came to this planet in this particular lifetime, given all the current stuff that's happening, right? A lot of you are aware of all the things that are going on the planet right now, the bullshit is unfolding. So I feel, and I know, that I'm on a double mission. My guides are continuously telling me this about many people I connect with, and most likely that's you as well. So as starseeds, old souls, whatever word you want to attach, if you don't like the words, release them. Just doesn't matter. It's all about the energy. We're on a mission. We're on a double mission. So one mission, one part of the mission is to obviously be here for our own spiritual growth, development. We have our own soul reasons for being here, for choosing these lifetimes, and we're here to do that. So each of us all have our own soul reasons for that. The other part of that, our other part of the mission, is to guarantee, if this is you, you're watching this now, this is you, even if you don't think it is, you're here to help the collective shift. So the other part of the mission is to be here present on the earth plane in current times, and to have our eyes open, including the third eye, being aware or beyond the illusion. We're seeing beyond the programming, the agendas at play, all of these things. And so you're also here to help, just with your presence, you're helping shift and break down these old systems. So how you do that will be very individual to you. So a lot of people that connect with me, they're typically, they can be similar to me, like entrepreneurial, they're in a service-based business, or they're creating products, or they're writing books, or some kind of impacting the world very directly in what they do. But I also have people that connect with me that maybe they're not doing it in that way, but through their own expansions and the way that they hold themselves and live their lives, that's their way of helping humanity. So there are lots of different ways. So mission does not have to look like how I'm doing it, right? But I know a lot of you will do similar things to my kind of business and healing, helping aspects, right? But your mission, you may already know what it is. Some of you know fully what it is. You're clear. Some of you are kind of, you have an idea, but you just don't know how the hell you're going to pull it off. And some of you maybe are just yet to step into that, right? So that's mission. That's, again, it's like, it's not mysterious. That's the point of this live stream today. So that's mission. And then the awakening part is really, it's really just being, how would I say? I'd say it is waking up to these parts of you. So in 2020, when all the pandemic stuff was unfolding, there were a lot of spontaneous awakenings, which means that suddenly people just, some of, check out if this was you, some of us just literally felt like we woke up and we just could see things that we didn't see. So a lot of people started to be able to see things in celebrities that they didn't see before. They suddenly woke up to some of the trafficking issues that were going on in the world, some of them massive issues, trafficking issues. Some people just suddenly got awarenesses of, like, they were looking at food differently and what they put into their bodies differently. And we could suddenly see through different things. So a lot of us had gradual awakenings, and some people had more spontaneous awakenings. I kind of had a bit of both, to be honest. I feel like I was on this awakening journey for a few years, different levels, as I went through, illness and recovery and finding myself and dropping the layers. But then I also felt like I had a lot of spontaneous ones in 2020, where suddenly I would wake up and I'd know things. I would know things that I didn't know yesterday. So these are kind of awakenings that can be very, can feel amazing, also can feel painful when they happen, and you kind of feel like you don't fit in with this old life anymore. That can bring up a lot of stuff. So that this is like awakening, this is what's happening. Also why I changed the name of my business. I was guided to, without even realizing, before this pandemic hit. And before the world went crazy, I had this complete guidance before I even knew I could even channel. I just felt it. It was like, you have to change your business name. So I moved from, originally it was Awake with Passion, and it moved to the Awake Revolution. And now it makes complete sense. So a lot of us were having awakenings. A lot of us are going to continue to have it. So on that note, this is why we don't have to panic when we see people. We're scared and worried that people aren't seeing things, because everybody's on their own path and we're all going to do it in different ways. Like, I feel like if this pandemic had happened 10 years ago, I would have been reacting very differently. I wouldn't have been able to see what I could see now, right? And so this is why we've got to have love and compassion. And I know it's frustrating, but we've got to have love and compassion for people who can't see what maybe you can see right now. So there are awakenings, they will continue happening. And then activations. Activations are kind of, they stem from awakenings, but activations is really the way I describe it. It's like we've got lights inside of us, and for whatever reason, they were dormant. They were switched off by design, by programming on the planet, right? And then activations, consider them like little lights. If little lights inside of you get turned on, you're activating. It's like you're activating some knowledge and wisdom that's stored inside of you. You're activating parts of you that were not kind of switched on. I like to see them as little lights. So activations can be, again, it's like, can be spontaneous. They can happen over a period of time, like upgrades. Again, and my guides are always telling me that this is continuing. Like, I have regular kind of bouts of them, bouts, if that's the right word, regular experiences with activations, and it's like a continuous growth. So it is like lights. It's like you this feeling of kind of lights going off. You can see more, you can feel more, you are more aware, you're more expanded. And so I assist people with that as well. So I hope that that just shines a bit of a light on some of these words and what does it all mean, making it make more sense, because that's really important. I think that we don't, kind of go off into the clouds. And one of my big things is really trying to bring this back down to earth, because there's little point in having all these special words and things that only certain people understand. And it's like, it's actually about making this more accessible, making this much more accessible to everyone. So yeah, I wanted to just start the week off celebrating this. 2 years on Friday where I became an active channel, and everything changed. So I'm going to just keep them separate this week. So tomorrow I'm going to share, if you want to join me here, same time, 6 p.m. UK time, 1 p.m. Eastern time. I'm going to share the how. The how I stepped into being a channel, how that all happened. And some of you might have heard that story or parts of that story before, but I wanted to talk about it this week because everything changed, and I fully believe that it's accessible to anybody. So I also I'm going to share either tonight, if not tonight, definitely tomorrow. I've got a few offers I already share in my business, but I'm going to put some special offers out there as a celebration. So it'll be, like really special pricing this week for some of my key offers that are relating to things that I channel. So I'm going to share more on that either later, maybe later or tomorrow. So you can watch out for a post on that on my page, wherever you're watching this. And I'll talk about that tomorrow as well. So yeah, I hope that this has just opened up a little something for maybe some of you, or just got you into the subjects again, because I love this conversation. So if you have any questions about anything that I've talked about today or anything around this area, feel free to comment below. I will absolutely love to answer them. I can answer them for you this week. And let's get into this conversation more. And I'm also just reminding you that I'm going to do live channeling on Friday. So that's a great chance to just hop on. I can channel messages for you, direct guidance. I love doing that. Happy to do that if you want to jump on live. All right, so that's it for today. So thanks for joining me. I'll keep these under 30 minutes is the plan, which I've stuck to, which is pretty good for me because I can, as a channel, talk and channel streams and streams. So that is That is enough. That is enough for today. All right. So I send you so much love. Thanks for tuning in, wherever you're watching this, and reminding you that you are more expansive than perhaps you may realize. There are reasons that you listen to messages like this, that you're drawn to someone like me who is channeling and is connected in that way. So there is more here for you. Absolutely. All right. So I send you so much love. Have a great rest of your day. And I'll be back here on this page tomorrow, same time. So I will see you then. All right. See you very soon.